What is going on, everybody? Welcome again back to the stream. 2 nights in a row. We are on fire. Up in here. Turn it up. We on fire. I've forgotten what song that is, but it just jumped into my head. So I did a rendition for you, so don't complain. Anyway, how is everybody? Today we're, of course, naturally drinking beer. Just grabbed it from Sainsbury's on the way home. Wasn't planning on doing live stream tonight, but we are... Of course, I just had some time, and you know what? What better way than to spend it with you guys, looking back over the game week so far. Let me turn my phone on to silent so it doesn't interrupt. So, Gonzalez Campos, Michael Ringsell, Rad Robbie Roller, Florin Sandu. How is everybody doing? Gonzalo Campos getting 48 points with 4 left to play. So, on that note, why don't we look at how I'm doing? I've got 2 left to play. And I'm only on 35, so you're doing better than me. The Spurs boys, bit of a letdown, weren't they? However, Hazard was the right captain choice so far, unless Salah or Firmino have an absolute field day. But I didn't captain Kane, which is the most important thing for me. The Fantasy Football Fix app says I should be up in ranking at the moment, almost 128,000. So hopefully I'll stay there or thereabouts. Otamendi unfortunately didn't get the clean sheet because Eriksen went and grabbed the goal. Looks like really late in the game. But if we have a look at the results so far, we have got Leicester City versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace turning up. Riyad Mahrez not getting any points. Meanwhile, Crystal Palace, Loftus-Cheek, Benteke, Zaha all in the points. So very good if you had any of them. Arsenal versus Newcastle. Mesut Ozil getting the only goal in that game as far as I can remember off the top of my head. A 0-0 ball draw at Brighton versus Burnley, but that would be very good news to a lot of us who own Burnley players. Me, having Pope and me, that was quite good to see. Chelsea beating Southampton 1-0. Marcus Alonso goal. Marcus Alonso reminding everyone why he is so good. As long as Chelsea keep clean sheets, Marcus Alonso is worth it, because then he could also pop up with a goal like today. Stoke versus West Ham. Late kickoff, but West Ham turned up. Lanzini looking very good from at least from the FPL alerts. So Lanzini could be a great option going into a game week 22 where West Ham have 2 games. And they've done well in London derbies recently. Watford versus Huddersfield. Not many people saw Huddersfield winning this one 4-1. Huddersfield, again, turning up when they weren't expected to. Watford, I believe, had someone sent off quite early and just didn't seem to turn up for this game. Richarlison did play, but was a big disappointment. And then Man City destroyed Spurs 4-1. Doesn't seem like anyone's going to stop Man City. Sterling was really good. De Bruyne was really good. And Gundogan came into the side and did really well as well. So just a little bit or a few more players for us to think about. David Silva, as far as I'm aware, didn't start. Tomorrow we've got West Brom versus Man United. I'm a bit worried about Man United romping home. That would hurt my rank. Then we've got Bournemouth versus Liverpool. I'm hopeful for some points from that game. And then my bench is pretty much Swansea. So if for some reason Salah or Firmino doesn't play, then I'll be looking at Norton coming in first, Carroll and Abraham. So I need to change that because just having a pure Swansea bench isn't that appealing to me. As far as my opponent, FC Joe, if we click on his team, triple captain played on Kane. That is fine. Oh dear. De Gea could be a worry for me, of course. Mariappa, Otamendi, Long. So he's got a few players didn't play. So Yedlin's going to come in by the looks of it. So is Masaka, which give him an extra 5 points. So he'll be on 19. Ngoido, Kane, Shaqiri, Hazard. So he's got Lingard and Coutinho. So it could turn around. Hopefully West Brom will grab a goal from somewhere. That would be good. But again, is this a team that have only just joined? Because overall points 99. Again, someone that seemingly just joined for the Cup. So I keep getting people that have only just joined the game for the Cup. But even with that being said, that team doesn't look amazing. Mahrez not really turning up. So who knows? I could go through. Doesn't look too bad for me, but De Gea could be a big difference maker. JP43, who should I get rid of Maguire for? Got 2 free transfers, could upgrade Mbemba as well. I would upgrade Mbemba just so you've got someone that plays. I've looked at Kenny. purely because Kenny's quite cheap and seems to be playing from Everton, and Everton's defensive performances have improved a lot. If we look at the last 6 game weeks, as far as goals conceded, Everton are actually about mid-table. They conceded 5 in the last 6. That is better than the likes of Bournemouth, West Ham, Swansea, Leicester. Better than Spurs, which might surprise a few people. Better than Watford as well. So Everton defence doesn't look too bad. That looks like a cheap way in. As far as shots conceded, Everton have actually conceded only 68. Only the top 5 clubs really beating them, if you don't count Manchester United, who have conceded a lot of shots, which is why De Gea is making a lot of saves. But all the others above them are only the likes of Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool. So Everton doing quite well as far as shots conceded, although there's a bit of a gap between them and 5th place Tottenham, who have conceded 49. As far as shots on target conceded, again, they're doing pretty well. They've only conceded 18. They're beaten by the likes of Burnley, West Brom, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea and Liverpool. But Spurs have conceded more shots on target than Everton. So I like the look of Everton's defence. Another defence that has done decently recently is West Ham. They've only conceded 20 shots on target in the last 6. They've conceded in total, if I can find them, they've actually conceded a lot of shots on goal, 97, which makes Adrian look a good option at the moment if they can keeping clean sheets. And goals conceded, West Ham have conceded 7, so potentially West Ham could be a place to go for defensive points now as well, on top of Burnley and Everton. That would be cheap defenders that look like they could be getting clean sheet points in the future. Florin Sandu, how are you doing, my friend? Mukhtar Adam, how are you doing? Gonzalez Campos, what about you? Oh, I'm good, man. I'm always good. I'm good when I'm jumping on the stream with you guys. Chat is popping off already. 34 people watching. We're kicking off Saturday night. I might even have free drinks tonight because it's a Saturday. So we'll see how the stream goes. Gordon Gilbody, my friend, how are you doing? And Thomas McCarthy, of course, reminding you all to please like and share. That would be much appreciated. It is Christmas after all, so why not help a brother out and like and share this stream so we can get as many people in here as possible, and I can get as drunk as possible because I've got tomorrow off. So do it. Hit that like button. Share on Twitter. Go do it now. I'll give you a second. I was only going to give you a second. So Mukhtar Adam says, what a week. JP43 got 42 with 3 left. Again, someone beating me. Rahul Game is in the chat. Gonzalez Campos is coming from Miami. I want to go there. So, you know, if you've got a spare room, let me know. David Knight, so close to an Otamendi clean sheet. Hope you're well, Jano. Very close, wasn't it? I was literally saying, unless Kane or Son scored, I was quite happy with that result. Because people that had Sterling or Sane or De Bruyne would maybe get like 6 or 7 points on me. But as long as I got Otamendi clean sheet, that's some points from that game, but I didn't. That hurt my ranking. At one point today, I was in the top 100k. Didn't last as long as I'd like, though. Rail Gaming, it's going good. Like I'm saying, I'm feeling good today. Feeling positive, and I thought, you know what, let's go and do another stream. Suraj says, hi, league is finished. What league? What league are we talking about? Luke Frith, Silver not playing, Hazard doing nothing has killed me. Hazard did do something. He got some points. He got an assist. He got 2 bonus points as well by the looks of it, I think. I don't think they've been calculated yet. Let me just check. If I go to points. Yeah, don't think bonus points have been calculated yet. I believe he should be on 2 bonus points. So that should be 16. 2 bonus points. Yep, 16 should be what Hazard gets, which is good for me. Better than who I might have captained. Oh, season is up because you're a Man U fan. Okay, I get it. Sorry, Siraj. To be honest, it looks like it's City's to lose, unfortunately. I kind of did want to see Spurs win. No worries, Michael. I'm in a good mood today, so I might actually put up with your nonsense. So, thank you for joining the stream, Michael. Alonso and Moses Hazard worked well this week for me. That must have worked really well for you, because 2 clean sheets and Hazard as captain. For once, I get the captaincy choice right. Finally. Pedrosa, surely Kane to go. I've actually spoken about this on Twitter and got some reputable accounts talking in the same conversation. Who do you replace Kane with, though? Who do you think in the long run is going to be better than Harry Kane? I might be being very naive to think that Harry Kane will still be at least top striker in the top 3. I think he'll score more goals than Lukaku. Depending on the Aguero Jesus situation, debatable. And some team's going to have to go on a run. If Man City had a permanent striker, that would be the person to go for. Because I think they're going to win the league. I think they're going to score the most amount of goals. I just don't see who the better option is than Harry Kane. I don't see who the better option is up front out of any striker. Even more budget options. Who is a better choice? Gonzalez Campos, 4 left is Jones, Foster, Calvert-Lewin and Salah. Hoping for 60 at least. Jones clean sheet could be possible. Salah, you always know Salah's capable of a good score. So Siraj, I don't think bonus points are added yet. Sorry, I'm just having a look if bonus points are added yet. What a crappy late goal for Eriksen. I know, and Eriksen isn't a player that I had, so it really was crappy. Michael Ringsell, you've been working out, John. You look slim. Yeah, Michael, I can work out. You can't do something about something you got. No offence, mate. Hey, Flock and Flock Leader. Leader of the... that sounds like a song. Leader of the Flock. I can't think of what it is, though. Never mind. How are you doing, Jeff? Nice to see you in the chat, of course. What about Cup? I think I've covered that, but if I hadn't, my opponent doesn't look like he's done amazing. I think he was on 14. He does have some players to come off the bench. So I think he's on about 20. He does have more players to play tomorrow, though. And he does have David De Gea, which worries me. Hopefully, is it West Brom they're playing? I think it's West Brom they're playing. Hopefully West Brom have one shot and score. So he can't get any save points. BP already added, yeah. Is it? Do I need to refresh my page? Because when I looked at status, oh, they are added now. My bad. Okay, so in that case, 12 points is what Hazard's got. My apologies. But I'm sure I clicked here and it wasn't. Yeah, like, why is it not there then? What's going on with my game? Never mind. I'm sure it will sort itself out eventually. But status says bonus points added, but then it's not on his thing. So maybe they're still updating that. Jeff Holt on 47 after bonus with 4 to play. Jeff, you're always doing well, aren't you? Michael Foley had his captaincy on Eden Hazard, which is great. Another one in the chat that Captain Hazard and is happy about it. Rahul Game is dropping this Christmas season. Sorry to hear that, my friend. 40k to 139k last week. Now I'm at 175k. Don't worry, you can bounce back. I'm pure example of that. I was 1.7 millionth at one point, and right now I'm closing in on top 100k. Siraj saying he's out of here if we're talking about Cup. Shashank Bandari, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you in the chat. Sterling with 2 goals equals no bonus points. Gonzalez Campos, Sterling has a tendency to score goals, get points, but not get bonus points, because as an overall performance, he doesn't get all the other factors that get you BPS points, which then go towards you getting the bonus points. Florence Sanders voted for Kane exit. Alan Arjadinovic, nice to see you in the chat again, my friend. Ouch. Yes, I transferred Mahrez for Sterling in the last 5 minutes. I did say I don't think Mahrez is going to continue. This is only one game, though, so don't judge him just on the one game. But it didn't look like Mahrez would continue his run of scoring. Florence Sanu going to go 4-5-1. I've gone 4-4-2, and so far, depending on what Abraham does, it looks like it could be a good decision. Potentially, I should have played Abraham instead of Kane, but, you know. Jeff Holt, I know Richarlison is cheap, but you're not tempted to bring in... Well, at the moment, Jeff, he's talking about bringing in a better player for Richarlison. I don't have the money to really boost him because I think I've got 0.3 million, so I could go up to 6.7. Now, there isn't really anyone at 6.7 that I'd want instead of Richarlison. And then there's also Carroll. I don't want Carroll. If I change Carroll to Sermon, which I can't do in one transfer, because I think he's now 4.8, I have no money extra. So, no, not really. Unless I change Abraham to someone cheaper, just to get some coins. I'm thinking of FIFA. I'm happy with Otamendi. Monreal could possibly change to Jones, purely because I don't like Arsenal around the Christmas, or sorry, January period, and then they usually come back in form again. Kenny, I'm happy with. Norton, I'm happy with. So it's about money, really. I could possibly get Hazard out for a Man City player like Sterling or Silva. Then I could upgrade Richarlison, but then I don't have that Chelsea coverage. And I feel like Chelsea are going to be decent this season. So I've got some things to think about. But I do still like Richarlison. Just because his price is still pretty good. Siraj says 451 soon. Need Özil and Sterling. Sterling, yes. Özil could, don't get me wrong, could have an absolute on fire rest of the season. He's very capable of it. However, he seems still to be an on and off player to me. So I'm not going to be jumping on that. If I really wanted Arsenal coverage, I would be looking at Ramsey, Lacazette and Sanchez, depending on how much cash you got. Bram Ono Nielsen, how are you doing, my friend? Thomas McCarthy thinks he's going out the cup. Sorry to hear that, my friend. Lanzini more appealing than Richarlison at the moment. That is true. But put it in perspective, because it's very easy to jump on a bandwagon. And I know sometimes I'm too slow to jump on it, which could be to my detriment. But also sometimes jumping on it too soon can be just as bad. If we actually have a look at them back-to-back comparison over the last 6 game weeks, Richarlison versus Lanzini. Now, if we did 6 game weeks, I'm pretty sure Richarlison's going to come out on top. If we did 3, then probably not. But right now, Lanzini is winning in the majority of stats over the last 6, which is surprising to me. Let's see if they're important stats, though. We have FPL price. Lanzini is actually more expensive. I would have to take into account his blank game week as well. Minutes played, very, very similar. Richarlison's been substituted off more often. Goals, in the last 6, neither have scored goals. However, assists, Richarlison has 2. Lanzini has 5. So he's winning by almost, well, more than twice as much. We've then got goal involvement. Lanzini's been involved in a high percentage of West Ham's goals. We also have BPS points. Lanzini's way above in that. As far as attempts on goal, that is where Richarlison easily outshines Lanzini. However, Lanzini's shot accuracy has been very, very good. He's had 5 goal attempts, 5 shots on target, whereas 2 shots on target out of 15 attempts from Richarlison. So where it really matters, which is if your shot isn't on target, it's not going in. Lanzini is ahead, but minutes per attempt, he's way behind. But then when we get to distribution, there's nothing Richarlison wins at all. Chances created, 16. So Lanzini actually is looking like an epic player at the moment. And good, because this is what West Ham fans have been hoping for. So fair play, Florence. Fair play, Florence Sandu. Lanzini is more appealing than Richarlison if we have a look at the actual stats, the underlying stats. Keep Zaha now that Benteke is out. False 9 role. I would be a little bit worried that Benteke is out, because I do like Zaha playing off Benteke. However, he has also looked good playing as a striker. So I wouldn't say Zaha is one that you can't take a bit of time to wait and see how he starts doing. I think Zaha is more than capable of being very, very good. Siraj is more disappointed than Spurs fans about the Man City versus Spurs game. How did it feel supporting Spurs for a day, Siraj? Have had enough of Harry Kane. I'll watch others getting points from him. Bram Ono Nilsson. My game week's not started off too bad. I'm still rising in ranking. However, I've only got 2 players left. Florence Sandu, that midfield does look very, very good if that's what you can get in. So, well done. Did I see someone call me rubbish? Anyway, I'm scrolling back to where I was in the chat. Wow, chat is popping off. Okay. So yeah, Florence Sander, your midfield looks pretty epic at the moment. I've had enough of Harry Kane. I'll watch it. Yeah, just tuning in. Yeah, having a good doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Ramsey to Lanzini was a great transfer for me. Well done, the false 9. Great transfer. Hat-trick of assists. Still only on 38 points though. What have the rest of your team done? Lanzini seems to be carrying you. Desiree Chirija is in the house. Florin, get Son out and get Özil if possible. Özil's playing magically. My punt on attacker Quainer paid off. Got an assist in full game for 4.5 million forward. Yeah, shush, Jeff. I got rubbish points from Harry Kane. I'm hoping Firmino will turn up for me. Son is a rotation risk. I felt like he was going to play the next 2 game weeks, which is why I brought him in. It was a bit of a punt. It worked out okay in game week 17, but not in game week 18. So Son may very well be leaving. For some reason, Daniel Langer has been getting under 40 in the last couple of game weeks after game weeks with 70s and 80s. It happens, mate. It happens. A lot of big players, a lot of good players have been getting low points recently. I think Son is safe until Lamela gets more match fitness. I think it all depends on the tactic that Pochettino's playing. Jeff Holt, rum and coke, while his wife Maria is on the gin and tonic. By the way, Maria, how was your Christmas party? Hopefully Jeff looked after you when you got back from your Christmas party and wasn't annoyed too much at your drunken state. We all heard about your Christmas party. Well, we haven't actually heard any details, but we all heard you're on a Christmas party. When is the correct time to use your free hit chip? Bram Ono Nilsson, the majority of big FPL players will be using the free hit when you have the game week with the most amount of blanks, which is usually around FA Cup 5th round, is it? It could be 4th round, but I think it's usually FA Cup 5th round. Sometimes you only have 4 games, so you want to have as many players from those 4 games as possible. So if you use the free hit then, you can build a team for just that blank game week. I hope Firmino will perform. I captained him. Florence Sandu, I hope he does as well. And it might make you go further ahead of me, but it would be good for my team as well. It would mean I'd probably continue on in the cup if Firmino does really well. Shashank said I needed Man City players yesterday. True, but do you know the 2 Man City players I was looking at? Sterling and Silva. And if I'd have brought in Silva, I'd have been very upset. So, yes, I never said I don't need Man City players. But at the time, I was making a move to get Pogba in. And I thought I could go a game week or 2 without a Man City player. And then what happened is Pogba... the plan was to get Sane in, and then Sane went quiet. I just got rid of Sterling because he was a rotation risk. So I didn't know who to bring in because I wasn't a fan of Silva. I had Jesus for a little bit of that, and then Jesus went out because the rotation again. Yes, you need a Man City player. I think it's Sterling, personally, because I just think he's the most explosive. But yeah, I think now if Gundogan is really truly fit, I think Silva may be rotated more. Because the reason Silva and De Bruyne have had such a long run is because I don't think they had many central midfielders that could kind of take their place. So I do need a City player, yes, I agree, on top of Otamendi. But I'm still doing okay for this game week. So I think a lot of people had Aguero and he didn't do anything. No bonus points for Hazard. I'm sure my app said he was scheduled to get 2. We're almost hitting 50 people watching live, so we're doing really well today, considering this was an impromptu stream. Florin Sando, I really think there's a lot of points in that Bournemouth game, potentially. I wouldn't bet on it, but Bournemouth defence, Liverpool attack, Liverpool defence, Bournemouth. Recently, I think last year, they had a very crazy game. Jamal Rice going lol. I thought Hazard got bonus points. I'm sure everything I read said he would get bonus points. But you know what? He hasn't. So, c'est la vie. Captain choice was still a decent one because he got an assist. I think Hazard may have got substituted off, which would really hurt his bonus points. That's what usually happens when someone gets subbed. 73rd minute, yeah. So a lot could have changed from when I last looked at it, which is fair enough. Michael Ringsell says John loves Loch Ness Monster. If you didn't know, Michael Ringsell is Scottish, so he believes in Loch Ness. Siraj, that's what I thought. I thought he had 2 after full time. Florin, this may be complete blind faith, and in February I may be going, what on earth was I thinking? I think Kane will come good. I really do. And I could be wrong. I could be falling on my sword here. That is fine. I have to make calls, and that is my call. Don't get me wrong. I'm worried every blimmin' game week. Is he going to score? Is he not? Rahul game. Pep is turning EPL into Bundesliga with his tactical dominance. Your thoughts? My thoughts are we need to see him do that for a couple of seasons before I can say he's turning it into the Bundesliga. I personally enjoy the Bundesliga as far as leagues that aren't the Premier League. If I had to watch foreign leagues, I quite enjoy the Bundesliga. I do think there's quite talented teams below Bayern Munich. I just think if you're a decent manager, you should be winning with Bayern Munich. But I think in the Premiership, I need to see him do it 2 or 3 years in a row before I say that he's turning it into the Bundesliga, purely because when you go to Bayern, they're already established as the best team in the Premier League. The best team, Bundesliga. In the Premier League, the best team is debatable, is always up for grabs. So one good season doesn't prove your tactical dominance in my eyes. It does for the season, of course, but not overall. I got rid of Kane 6 weeks ago, got in Alonso, Valencia and Hazard with the extra money. That's why he's not worth it. You can use the money so much better. Rad Robbie Roller, I agree with you. Right now, your money was so much better used on the players you just suggested. I just feel that if he does return to form, he is one of the best players in the game. And that's an if. And I'm kind of hedging my bets that it will happen. He will return to form. In hindsight, it's easy to say that. However, if Kane in the next 6 game weeks scores 8 goals, he's back to being worth it again, and you've got to figure out how to get him into your side. It's basically, you have to make a decision. Do you think Kane will turn it round, or do you think he won't? If you don't think he will, then yes, you need to make the move. So yeah, that's all I can really say about it. I think he will turn it around. Had I known in advance that he would have 6 to 8 game weeks where he really didn't perform, then of course I'd have made the moves as well. But I feel like it's around the corner that he will start scoring. Oh, you didn't have to do that, babe. I believe I have some mulled wine to go with the other beer. Thanks, babe. Anyway, next question. Gordon Gilbody apologises if he's been on if he talks a lot of nonsense. He's been on the pop all day. Jesus missed the penalty. I thought Aguero missed the penalty. Or Jesus, sorry. Michael Ringsell says, lol. Bram, Ono, Olsen. Are Huddersfield defenders viable with some good fixtures coming up and end them smashing some teams? Can I just say, last stream I did say potentially you could look at some Huddersfield players because they have a good run of fixtures. And you know what? Every now and again I get something right in the stream, and I think that was one of them. Florin Sanu not happy with Jesus for missing that penalty because it stole from KDB points. Anyone have Jesus? Because that would have hurt that one. Anyway, beer is finished. Well, the first one anyway. Leader pack, the Shrills, I think. Ah, okay. See, Jeff Holt is like the song guru. He should make the playlist. If I ever bring playlists into my streams, Jeff Holt should be in charge of the playlists. The average, let's have a look, see. Hopefully it's been all figured out. Nope, not yet. From what I remember seeing, the game week average was 26. Yeah. Could be a bit on and off because, of course, it's a prediction. But from what the sites are telling me, it's 26. The Chrissy95, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat again. Ouch. When you forget to change captain this week and have Kane, plus have Loftus-Cheek on the bench. That sucks. I think I saw someone on Twitter saying Morata didn't start. Loftus-Cheek is my first sub. Awesome. And then Morata came on. So that would annoy me if that was the case. Elite Gamer, how many points am I on at the moment? I believe I'm on... Has that been added on? 935? 931 points. Not as good as I'd like. I don't think it's been added on yet because I think my overall rank should have been improved. Jamal Rice, Captain Hazard. I hope you did because Hazard seems like a decent shout. Salah could, of course, outperform him. There's, of course, other players that could outperform him. Potentially Lukaku. But I'm happy that I went with Hazard. Hazard at home is a decent captaincy shout. Junior Clark saying should have captained Sterling. Got 42 points. With Sterling as captain, that would have looked a lot better, wouldn't it? I personally am saying this right now. I think Sterling is the one. Sterling is the one that you want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Never mind. Swapping Vardy for Gray. I'm not sure about Andre Gray. To be honest, I'm kind of cooling off of Watford in general. I mean, their fixtures, not ideal. Next 3 are okay. After that, I may look at shipping a Watford player out. Because if I'm correct in my assumption, Watford have kind of cooled off on their performances recently. Lost 4-1. Did they win 2-1 there, I think? Lost 1-0. 1-1, 4-2, 3-0. Did they win 3-0? They did. So you know what, actually, they're doing alright. Just, I thought a lot of those points would come for Richarlison. Not as many are coming from him as I'd like. Andre Gray's a decent shout from that team. But I don't think there's any Watford player that really stands out as amazing for me right now. But for value, that is where the value players are. I'll just add that. Is Pogba a good player to bring in now? Well, what happened last time Pogba came back is he had a really good first game back. Then everyone jumped on the bandwagon. And then he kind of... Well, he still did okay and then got the red. I personally think Pogba is a class player. I think he will have a good season if he can not go and get another red card. Suspended until 23rd of December. So, I'm presuming, yeah, that is the next game for them against Leicester City. I mean, it would be a good start to your Christmas. Will I do it? I think Sterling may be my transfer already. Man City against Bournemouth. So yeah, I mean Pogba's a decent player to bring in. It probably won't be my move, but I wouldn't say no to bringing in Pogba. Suraj Karanja, I agree. I'm sure it said he was getting bonus points, and then he doesn't. Who's looking good for captain for game week 19? So we have, Lanzini against Newcastle. It is against Newcastle. So you never know what can happen against Newcastle. Man City against Bournemouth. If you have a Man City player, he could do really well in that fixture. You know what? I like Man City options the best in that game week. Against Bournemouth at home, it's just... sorry. Just going to choke on my own swag. I think Man City players are the best option there. Ideally, like someone like De Bruyne or Sterling or Silva. Silva should play, considering he didn't play last game. Judy Clark on a 4-4-2. I think the majority of us are shying away from a 3-4-3. I'm worried Abraham's going to go get a hat-trick now, though. Jamal Rice on 62. Jamal Rice, you're just a don. No one's going to catch you this year by the looks of it. Jeff Holt, that could possibly be a good move. I mean, I'm unlikely to play the Huddersfield striker that you're mentioning. So, Vintage Soul, talking about FIFA because I mentioned coins. Just a little side note, my investments for Footmas SBCs haven't gone up as much as I'd like. Siraj hates FPL. Don't worry, Siraj, you'll be back on top soon. Shashank thinks 4-5-1 is the way forward. Potentially, I may make no transfer, so I have 2 going into the after Boxing Day fixtures, but I think I need Sterling. Desiree Treja, Florida have 18, but don't tell JNO. Don't put it in the chat then, because I see everything in the chat. Everything. We have a new subscriber, 04 Ellison CHR. Thank you for joining the flock. Can we have some birds in the chat for our newest subscriber? Thank you so much for joining the flock and becoming part of the family we have going on here. You're, of course, very, very welcome, and it's good to see you hit that subscribe button. Of course, if you are watching the stream and you haven't hit that subscribe button, that's what happens. I'm pointing at my screen because that's where I see it. That's what happens. You get your name up in lights for joining the flock, as you do if you sponsor or super chat. Get your name up there if you want. If you don't want, we'll just carry on with the chat. How Sterling didn't get the free bonus points. Sterling isn't a bonus point magnet, so he's unlikely to get bonus points unless he does really well. I heard he missed 2 sitters as well. Imagine he'd have scored them as well as the chances he did take. I personally think both Sanchez and Özil will not continue to play well for Arsenal. I think they could both be gone in January. Sorry, this mulled wine is very nice, which is why I keep drinking it. Odd G, I think that's how you say his name, says Lanzini may be punished for diving. If he is, I think that hurts overall West Ham attacking options, because I think Lanzini is starting to become the hub of that team. Oh, okay, Alan Arjanovic, you did very well then. You listened to my advice and took Mahrez out. Desiree Treja is selling Kane. Thomas McCarthy wants food. If anyone knows Thomas McCarthy's address, send him some food. Did anyone see how Ali and Kane escaped clear red? I didn't see it myself, unfortunately. And we've, of course, dropped to the bottom of the chat, so I've got to... I can see some more comments about how I've still got Kane. I have 4-4-2, De Gea, Valencia, Ward, Jones, Monreal, good defence. Sterling, Hazard, De Bruyne, Richarlison in mid, and Morata and Calvert-Lewin up top. I like that team. I like that team. I personally am not a fan of Calvert-Lewin. That's the one I'd really change. Apparently, Ali and Kane did something ridiculous, but I've not seen it. Apparently, KDB also escaped a red. What teams will go down? Whichever two teams are 19th and 20th after Christmas passes, and then some random team. I don't like predicting the downfall of teams, though, to be fair. Steve Shotton thinks Newcastle, Swansea and Huddersfield will all go. If you have an opinion on it, put it in the chat who you think will get relegated. I personally think Huddersfield, if they make the most of their easy run of fixtures, could stay up. Newcastle and Swansea seem a bit dead to me right now. But who knows? Things can change drastically. We have some updates on people's teams. Thomas McCarthy has 4 players left on 22. Junior Clark has 4 left on 42. Show off. Tiger Rage has 4 players left on 37. DC, Coutinho and Richarlison for Sterling or David Silva, and Pogba over the next 2 game weeks. If that's Coutinho and Richarlison out for Sterling or Silva and Pogba, potentially I'd say that's a good move. That's the way round you mean. Why was Kolasinac on the bench? Who knows? Like, I think Wenger's looking at the at Pep and Klopp and thinking, I can ruin FPL managers' dreams as well. Tiger Rage wishes Morata didn't come on. DC Kane, triple captain for double game week. Not so sure now. Also, how many Spurs West Ham players will you have for that double game week? Thanks and good chat. I will have Kane for the double game week. If I get rid of Kane, it will be after the double game week. He has until then at least. Lanzini, if he's around, will come in. Other than that, I may bring in a West Ham defender by that point. But to be honest, without having or playing any chip or wild card, I'm not sure that I'll have loads of options for that double game week. But I will at least cover West Ham and Spurs in some shape or form. Let's just say Maria's having a very quiet weekend recuperating. That's my girl. That's how you go out and celebrate. Make the next 2 days feel like utter that stuff. And yeah, because you had that much fun on your night out. There's no point in going out and not having the most fun you can possibly have. Nice to hear she's still drinking though. Not that I encourage drinking, but if you enjoy to drink, then feel free to drink while watching the stream. Silva was rested, he's in my team. To be honest, that Silva rest means he could be very active over the next couple of games though. Ah, Jeff, awesome. If I go, I can be the YouTube friend. This is my friend, he does stuff on YouTube. Go subscribe. I can wear my Go Subscribe shirt. I don't have one yet, but I should get one. We're almost hitting 50 viewers at the moment, 1 away. So if you haven't liked and shared yet, feel free to do so. Tiger Rage has 4 players left: Calvert-Lewin, Salah, Kenny and Fabianski. I would fancy Kenny to get a clean sheet, and then Salah potentially to get some points as well. I did not mean to delete your message. Whoops. Can I undelete? Wow. Sorry, Tiger Rage. I did read it, though. I did read it. I accidentally clicked delete, though. My bad. My apologies. The false nines put up his best players. Looks like Pope and Lanzini and Hazard were his top performers. Kind of wish I'd brought in Lanzini. 2 6s and a 5 on the bench, and who comes on for Steve Shotton? Glenn Murray. Not what you want to hear. When is Coleman coming back? Everton has done well in the past few years with Coleman. Coleman, as far as I'm aware, is at least after New Year. But I will check that for you, of course, because that's what I'm here to do. Seamus Coleman, potential return 1st of the 1st, 2018. Hasn't resumed full training yet, so I'd say it's still a while off. Rad Robbie Roller, you are correct. There could be a lot of people hustling about trying to cover up for the fact that their 2 main strikers are both suspended for 1 game. Wow, that's what I did. Oh, jeez. Really apologies, Tiger Rage. I blocked you. Why? I have no idea. I literally must have pressed something funky. But I've unblocked you. I've made sure you're unblocked now. Just double checking. And as an apology, you are now a moderator. Already transferred Kolasinac to Otamendi and then Bemba to Ogbonna. Well done, Shashank. Good move. Tiger Rage, I believe the average is 26. Desiree Charija, Jenna, what's up with you and Kane? Time to get someone. I'm telling you, I think Kane will come good. And I've just spilt, because I'm so worked up about Kane, I've spilt mulled cider, wine, sorry, although I prefer mulled cider, just in case anyone's wondering. I've just managed to spill hot mulled wine on my leg. Lee Bros Gaming with some advertising. Is it anything to do with FPL? Because the crowd here are very FPL orientated, so we don't mind some names that we know coming in, but you said nothing, but everyone go watch my recent Q&A video. So you've not even contributed. Meanie. I'm joking. Had Dunk on my bench, so I lost a good few points there. Unfortunate. Shashank Bandari, what are your transfer plans this game week, and look at double game week ahead? To be honest, I don't really plan that far in advance, because I feel like FPL, at least the way I look at it and the way I play the game, is FPL changes so much so quickly that if you make a long-term plan, you're not leaving yourself flexible enough to take advantage of opportunity. So I don't do that, unfortunately. So I don't have one big master plan. The fact that they're blanking the week before they have the double game week means I'm not going to load up on West Ham or Spurs players. If the double game week and then the actual blank was further apart, then you know what? I would probably load up a little bit. But AM Saturday in the chat. How are you doing, my friend? Dom J is a big defence advisable during Exodus period where attackers are tired. To be honest, defenders are rotated a lot less, aren't they? So that is a decent strategy. But the thing is, the big points can come from the attacking players if you get it right. I'm trying to get my mate to sort of team. Is there any point now he's missed the cup? Why not? He could just have fun doing it, because it will show you your rank since you started. So you can see, like, since game week 12, if that's when you start, you can see if you're the best player since game week 12. So he could start and still be competitive. Rad Robbie Roller says Alonso got himself a yellow on purpose so it'll be used in the League Cup game in the week and won't miss any Premier League games. Does it roll over to the League Cup? Because if it does, then I personally think if they can tell he did it on purpose, then they should punish him for doing that on purpose. Because you shouldn't be deliberately trying to get a yellow. But if that is the case, he's very clever. Jeff Holt says hello to Mrs. JNO. You know what? I will tell her later. I'm not going to run out of the room to tell her. If she pops back in, I'll try and remember to tell her. We have hearts in the chat from Thomas McCarthy for Mrs. JNO as well as the birds in the chat as well. Dom J stressing about Sterling's finishing. To be honest, as long as he gets enough chances, though, Sterling puts some of them away. AM Saturday, unfortunately, the average is pretty low, which is good for me, because I'm on 35. The thing is, though, you've got to remember, if a player's in the right place a lot, they only have to score maybe half of their chances compared to someone that's not in the right place as much. So, I still think Sterling's a good choice. Because the type of goals they sometimes score are sitters anyway. But, fair enough, he missed sitters, so you know. Rad Robbie Roller doesn't get why Kolasinac is rested. I personally think he was a steal and he should be playing a lot. Thomas McCarthy, unfortunately, under the average. Again, really sorry to hear that. As long as you enjoy the stream, though, with us guys, then that is great. I mean, it's a plus, like, balancing it out. I'm just trying to think of something nice to say. Because I hate it when I'm doing awful. Desiree Tree just says Vardy must go. Morata owners, what to do? I think Morata will start the next game. Gordon Gilbert, he wants me to down a beer in one when I get 1k points. If you want that to happen, say so in the chat right now, because for all I know, I might have hit it. Oh no, I won't have hit it. I won't hit it this game week. So it would be the game week before, just before Christmas. Hopefully. Florence Sandu, KDB is the best midfielder in the Premier League right now. Is downing a beer going to be my thing then? I've got to down a beer every time I hit a milestone. So when I hit 4,000, I don't know what my subscriber count is. That's probably the first. I think it's 4,317. But it might be 318 now. We had a subscriber today. So every time I hit 100, should I down a beer as well? Pogba makes Man United tick. Right now, I think if you look at the big clubs, there are certain players that make the club tick. At Man City, it is De Bruyne, in my eyes. Although he has a great supporting cast. Let's get that clear. As far as Man United, I'd say it's Pogba. Pogba is the guy that makes that Man United side tick. As far as Chelsea are concerned, whilst they have performed well around him, I'd still say Hazard is the man that can make stuff happen for Chelsea. Spurs, right now, you're struggling to see anyone really pulling the strings. It should be Kane being the one that's at least scoring the chances. But really, to make a team tick, I'd say you need a midfielder. And I think part of the problem they're having is Eriksen's not continued his good start to the season. If we look at Arsenal, Özil could be turning into that man right now in front of our eyes. But I always hold off judgment on Özil until he's done it a little bit longer, because I think he's a bit iffy. Salah has been amazing. I think if Liverpool had a midfielder the quality of Pogba or De Bruyne, they would be so much better, and you'd need massive Liverpool coverage, at least for attacking wise, if they had a player the calibre of the likes of Pogba or Kevin De Bruyne. Someone get Thomas McCarthy a beer. Kevin De Bruyne should still be a Chelsea player. I don't understand how Chelsea let him go. I'm thinking Sterling as captain is a good shout, to be fair. But to be honest, sometimes if you chase the points, the captaincy choice is wrong, but I just really like that fixture. Siraj is going Otamendi as captain. If he scores and gets a clean sheet, that would be a masterstroke. If Abraham gets a hat-trick, I'll send you a case of beer. If Abraham gets a hat-trick, the next stream might just be me drinking myself into a stupor. Desiree Tarija, resting defenders, I personally think is unlikely, especially as a lot of Man City's defenders are injured or can't play. So it's unlikely he's going to rest them. Might only just get into the birds for the new subscriber. Tulsa Carthy wants to play a 3-6-1. A little wahey from Ellison Schur. Ask people to put the thumbs up. Again, if you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, hit that thumbs up button. I don't know how many likes I've got so far, but go hit it. Siraj says he's going to unsubscribe and subscribe again. I think someone's tried that and it doesn't work anymore. I don't know for definite, but I think that has been done and it doesn't actually bring it up anymore. I've dropped to the bottom of the chat again, as usual. Yeah, I've just seen, I banned Tiger Rage. Tiger Rage, really seriously, apologies. I did not mean to hit the ban button, but somehow I did. Oh wow, Nico London has Depwatry and Sterling on the bench. Ouch. Jamal Rice says never selling Kane. To be honest, Jamal Rice is #1 player in our league as far as I'm aware still. So, and he's not selling Kane. So you know what? If he's not selling Kane and he's got 1,050 points, I think I can manage without Kane's points until he does start scoring again. And I really think he will. Again, I could be wrong, but I really think he will start returning. Dean Lake, should Mark Hughes get the boot? Mark Hughes, sorry. I don't know if you should get the boot. I personally don't like people booting their manager at certain times of the season. I'd say they should have either already done it or give him a chance to turn it around. I don't think Stoke will get relegated. Rahul Game has just joined the flock. In fact, I think he was already part of the flock. I think we might have someone just wanting to see their name up in lights. But you know what? Birds in the chat anyway. Desiree Trader says, enough of Kane, I'd rather get Wazza or Lukaku. I wouldn't rather have Lukaku, to be fair. And Wazza, yes, while Wazza is good, I personally think Wazza would be a decent shout to bring in. I still want Kane. Manchester City will get relegated. I doubt it, Siraj. That would be a massive turnaround, though. Imagine if you put a bet on that right now and it happened. Florence Sanders said Austin looked good today for the few minutes he played. Austin is their best striker. He's proven himself in the Premier League for QPR. Why does he not get the opportunity or a long enough opportunity to prove himself? Saturday thinks Swansea, West Brom and Stoke will go down. Who are some good strikers for the next couple of game weeks? Play a strikerless formation. Play 4-6-0 because it's hard. But if I had to go with a striker, off of the fixtures, Lukaku has the fixtures. I just personally don't like him as a striker. Man City have good next 4 fixtures. The issue is that Liverpool game at the end. But Man City seem to be able to beat anyone. Chelsea have good fixtures. Morata should play from Gameweek 19 onwards. Lacazette makes the most of his chances by shots on target, but I just don't... Nothing's drawing me to Lacazette. You know when you feel it. Sometimes you feel it, and I don't feel it. Personally, I feel like in the next 5 game weeks, Kane could destroy people that have dropped him. Yes, I'm in the boat that Harry Kane is good enough and he will turn it around. If you don't believe that, then ignore what I'm about to say for the next 20 seconds. But he has Burnley, Southampton, then a blank. Then in 1 game week, he has Swansea and West Ham, and then he has Everton. In those 5 games, he could really, really hit some teams or your ranking if you don't have him. That is it. That's all I'm going to say, because it's a good run of games over a busy period where rotation is possible. Kane doesn't generally get rotated. I am worried he'll get rotated in game week 22 though, if I'm perfectly honest. But I think Spurs are getting to that point where they need their best players on the pitch because they're not as high in the league as they'd want. As far as budget, sorry, I should look at some budget options. Huddersfield have Southampton, Stoke, Burnley, Leicester, West Ham. So you could pick someone from there. People have already got some because I did suggest it last stream. West Ham have a decent run apart from that Spurs game in a double game week. Don't really think there's a standout option there though yet. I think midfield, Lanzini is your best bet. Once Brighton get past the Chelsea game, maybe Glenn Murray. But yeah, there isn't a multitude of options, to be fair. Siraj says, why is Kolasinac bench? Ask Arsenal Fan TV. We'll see. Maybe one day I'll be able to ask some questions. Maybe. Desiree Chirija, Pogba is back. Good option. Yes, but I'd say I personally feel like a Man City player is more important to bring in than a Man United player right now. But if you have your Man City coverage sorted, then I still think Pogba is a very important player who will get points in the FPL. Florian Sandu says, focus on defence and midfield. I agree, Florin, but I'm still going to keep Kane. Do you think it's better to have West Ham defender or keeper? It's starting to look like Adrian might be a great shout. I personally was still iffy if Joe Hart is... Because if Joe Hart's gone West Ham, because he went there because he wants to play at the World Cup, and then loses his place to Adrian, this has to be the biggest fall from grace ever for a keeper that I've seen in a while. That being said, Edison's, or however you say his name, from Man City, his distribution is sick. Potentially, I'm saying this now on stream, could be 100% wrong. Edison, if he keeps working on his game, I think he's young, if he keeps working on his game, could be a future world best keeper. That's my take on it, but you know, I could be very, very wrong. Florence Sando, I'm thinking Pickford for goalie and Masaka from West Ham defence. I don't see any issue with that. I personally think Pickford's a bit expensive though. What was Redden for David Silva not even making a bench? I took a hit, put him in my team. The reason, Dean Lake, is probably just rest. I don't think there was any major reason for it. I don't think he's got an injury or knock. I can see nothing suggesting he's had an injury. Personal reasons. No return date. So just take that for what you may. Something has clearly happened, and thoughts go to David Silva just in case it is something really bad. There's personal reasons, so it potentially isn't even rest. Something has happened. David Silva's taken some time off. So, who knows when he'll be back. That's unfortunate if you brought him in for Fantasy Premier League, but you know what? Sometimes things in life are more important. Obviously, something's happened. My thoughts go out to David Silva just in case. Hopefully, everything is okay for him. AM Saturday already had me. It'd be hard for bringing in. It's pretty legit at the moment. If you don't need to make transfers, then it does get difficult, doesn't it? But, you know, I'm not in that situation. AM Saturday, me, Kenny, Asby, Daniels. Daniels could potentially come out now, and Maguire. I mean, the fixtures: Bournemouth, Man City, West Ham, Everton, Brighton, Hove Albion, Arsenal. And to be honest, to me, West Ham and Everton are turning their season around. Brighton are capable. I don't like Bournemouth's run of fixtures. As far as who was the other player I was looking at, Maguire, Leicester City. They've just had a bad performance, to be fair to them. They've got Man United next, Watford, then Liverpool, then Huddersfield, then Chelsea. So I'd say you could make some changes to your defence there. Siraj just pointed out how important clean sheets can be. Dean Lake, try being different, Captain Vardy, never again. I don't think there was anyone who actually thought Palace would win that game 3-0. Not even myself. I warned against Mahrez. I did suggest that Vardy wasn't as good an option as some people were saying. However, I would not have thought the Palace game was where it would have fallen apart. I would say Christensen, as Siraj says, for Chelsea coverage, Christensen looks the option. I'm potentially worried that I'm not going to make the best of that. I may just focus my transfers, apart from Sterling coming in, on defenders. AM Saturday loves Dave. I'm quite a big fan of Dave, to be fair. The thing is, Florence Sandu, Leicester, in my eyes, have never been known for clean sheets. So, unless that Leicester player, don't get me wrong, in their season where they won the league, they got more clean sheets than they usually do. Just Leicester, to me, don't get clean sheets. So unless that defender is getting attacking points regularly, it's not worth it for me. Siraj, I agree with Florence Sandu. De Gea will start every match. Phil Jones does seem to be a bit injury prone. And right now, Man United are conceding shots and David De Gea is saving them. Now, sometimes those shots could be utter rubbish. But if he saves them, he still saves them, which is still points. Yeah, Florence Sandu, I agree. Jones is very injury prone. Dean Lake, I will not use the free hit on the West Ham Spurs double game week purely because there will be a game week where there's bigger blanks, and I will say this till I'm proven wrong. I really think the best use of free hit is in the blank game week. But take that for what you will. You can use it for double game weeks and do really well as well. Ashley Middleton, I can't see anything wrong with going Sterling and Silva, KDB, Salah, Hazard, Pogba. I personally think you could save money by going Sterling and Silva and not having KDB if you were trying to get that midfield. I agree with Florence Sand. If you're going to use a free hit for a double game week, it's better when there's more than just one double game. DC, if you are mainly thinking a mini league and no one else has David De Gea, do it. It will help your ranking. If that's your focus, then yes, go for it. Because I will always say this: if there is a cash prize in your mini league that is worth winning, win it. Because the likelihood of you winning cash from the full game is small. If I was in a mini league where I could win money, bang, I would still partly be trying to get a good rank. because, of course, the higher your ranking is in the overall game, the higher you're going to be in your fantasy league. But Jake Logan wants to know my rank. Hopefully it's updated. It was 166,000. It's now 135,871. So I have, at the moment, gone up in ranking again, which hopefully, if it stays that way, is green arrows for the last 4 game weeks. We had a nice period here where we kept going up. Then we had up, down, up, down, up, down. But hopefully it's the 4th game week in a row where I've gone up, which would be nice. Seeing as I have a YouTube channel on it, you know, it would be nice if my ranking was good. Is AM Saturday suggesting I down a beer? Because I've not hit a milestone yet, so no, I won't do it yet. 59 points should be enough, Rad Robbie Roller. Hey, it's Martial FC, not Pogba FC. I personally think Martial could be one of the best players in the Premier League if he got the game time he deserves. Players' prices that will rise. Let's have a look at that. And the players' prices that will fall. Right now, it looks like Willian, Valencia, Ogbonna, Pope, Calvert-Lewin, Quainer from Huddersfield, if you're going for that cheap striker, and Smalling are all going to rise, with Joel Pereira at 99.7% of hitting his target to rise, which is a crazy one. Mariappa also could rise in price from 4.1 million, but he would need to go from 99.4 up to 100. As far as going down, I believe Harry Kane is amongst this list. Mustafi, Aguero, Pugh, Loris, Knockaert, Brady, Ibrahimovic, Timon, Davis, Coleman, Frederick, March and Clark are all scheduled to go down. I was expecting to see Kane, but it looks like that could happen tomorrow night instead of tonight. He is on 98.1% of hitting the target for him to drop in price. Dean Lake, are all my chips intact? Yes. I've played a wild card, but I've not used any chip. Stoke versus West Ham will be horrible to watch. What about the most transferred in curse? Scary stuff. To be honest, I really think it's a bit of fear mongering. It's a bit of getting hype, I guess, for the game in general. If in the long term you transfer someone in and they have a bad first game week when they come in, but then they have a great next 10 game weeks, it really doesn't matter that they had one bad game week, really. Maybe just don't captain him if you do believe in the curse. But there's no problem in transferring in a player that is doing well and that will continue to do well, and everyone is transferring it in. If everyone's transferring in, it won't affect your game week rank that much if they don't do that well. Dom J says Sterling has a history of scoring against Bournemouth, so potentially nice option there. Stoke versus West Brom will be horrible, potentially. Okay, I've dropped to the bottom of the chat again, so just got to find my way. Most transfer and curse, and those scouts get paid for it. I really don't see the big hype about it, but you know, it's got attention, hasn't it? So that's one of their jobs, is to get attention. Do you think it's right to rest Pope next weekend as Burnley play Spurs? No. Pope could. I'm not saying he will, but Pope could have a clean sheet with a massive amount of saves. It's possible. Will he? That's not a guarantee. Depends solely on who else you have. I have Rob Elliott. I'm more likely to put my money on Pope than I will Elliott. And I think it could be a big return. How did the scout team do? I'm not sure. I have not looked yet. Tiger Rage's team: Fabianski, Elliott, Christensen, Otamendi, Kenny, Salah, Richarlison, Hazard, Sterling, Morata, Kane, Loftus-Cheek, Mbemba, Kiko, Firmino. Don't like Firmino or Mbemba. Otherwise, I don't have any issues with that team, Tiger Rage. Florence Sander: if Jamal is not getting rid of Kane, it's because the rest of his team is on point. So it's my job to, if I really think Kane's going to keep doing well, it's my job to get the rest of my team on point. Because I still think Kane will come good. I just missed the one game week where he did come good and not captain him. Just one bird for Rahul Game for rejoining. That's quite funny. Dom J says Austin should have scored this game week. Apparently, if City lost all their games from now on, they'd end up 10th. Wow. My plans over Christmas. Anyone bringing in and out? As far as FPL goes, I will play it by ear. Because sometimes I feel like you need to make the transfer that makes sure you have 11 players. Again, I've said this before, I like to be flexible. I don't set out plans. I do sometimes set out like a 1 or 2 transfer plan, but never more than that, really. Florence Sander: I don't agree with the idea of keeping a player no matter what. Let me get that completely straight. If I really felt Kane was not going to turn this around, he would be gone. I think he will turn it around. That is why I'm keeping him. I also think he's one of the hardest players to get back into your side if you spend the cash elsewhere. If Aguero was on fire or Lukaku was on fire, they'd have come in because they're easy to transfer back and forth. But I don't think either of them are. If I downgrade and spend the money elsewhere, I've then got to make 2 or 3 transfers to bring back Kane if he does start to do well. That is my issue. As soon as I think Lukaku could do the business, or I think Aguero is nailed on, then I make the move. Lukaku has the fixtures, but Siraj wants Martial as the striker. I think if Martial was leading that line, it would just give him more speed behind a defence. Not that teams don't sit back against United. AM Saturday got 44 this week. Well done, AM. Well, I'm still not satisfied with my overall points. I'm at 915 or so. You know what? We've still got time to keep improving, AM Saturday. Jeff Holt is up to game rank of 2,910. But you have helped, and I represent the flock at that position. What I kind of want is Jamal Rice to represent the flock. But you're a good second, Jeff. You're a good second. Florence Sandu: if I was considering the busy period, goalkeepers and defenders I'd go for. I would go for goalkeepers in form. And then apparently West Brom do rotate quite well with Pope. So that is an option for you. Oh, wow. Another drink. The wife is trying to get me drunk for you guys. I'm joking. Your voice is very quiet and sweet. Completely lost where I am, but I've got another drink, so that's the important thing. I would still say Pope is a great shout. Fabianski is a great shout. De Gea is a great shout. Defenders, as far as form, I'd say Everton and West Ham. Gordon Gilbody, his price will drop as long as he doesn't do something crazy against his next 2 opponents. Jamal Rice is 23rd in the world. Damn. Damn. Jamal, we salute you. I hope you're representing the flock, but we salute you, my friend. Until I can get closer to Jamal, I'm never questioning Jamal Rice again. Liverpool's defence are the best defence in the world. Desiree Trija says David De Gea is still playing. I don't agree with Jano. Will remain the best. Yeah, I'm assuming that's talking about when I spoke about Edison. The one thing I don't think David De Gea has is the ability to be the next Manuel Neuer. And I personally feel like Manuel Neuer has set the bar for what a goalkeeper can be. And I think until you kind of get to that point where you either evolve the position or you play to that level as a goalkeeper where you're not just a goalkeeper, you're actually even part of the team. I'm not saying goalkeepers aren't part of the team. I hope I'm making my point decently here. I don't see David De Gea ever being the guy that's really quick off his line, part of the team, part of keeping possession. Edison, to me, seems like he could become a player that can get assists and can do some stuff that you don't expect keepers to do. In David De Gea's defence, I do remember him setting some attacks up very quickly with throws, so I will give him that. But I personally think Edison could... I don't think Edison's ever going to be as natural a shot stopper as De Gea. I personally think David De Gea is a better natural shot stopper, and I'm not sure I should say this, than Neuer. I actually do think he is a better natural shot stopper than Neuer. I do still think Neuer is a better keeper overall, but I think a lot of that is experience. But I would like to know your thoughts on that. Do you think Neuer is better than De Gea, or do you think it's vice versa? De Gea is better at some stuff, Neuer is better at other stuff? And what do you think of Edison? Jamal Rice asking for advice when he's that high up in ranking. Blessing a Rolo, Mr. Super Chat with the lovely little J and O button next to his name. Not Super Chat, sponsor. Thank you for joining the stream. It's been a while. Thank you so much for joining. Good to see you here. Wants to know how everyone did this game week so far. Me personally on 35 points, 36 people watching right now. Not this YouTube button at the top does not work. It says 44. I might leave it because when people join, they think 44 people are watching. Anyway. Completely lost track of thought. My game week 35. Average looks like it might be 26. Let's see if it's updated. If it has. Because it could be slightly higher, could be slightly lower. Average is 25 apparently. So 10 points above the average. Increased in ranking. 966. I have to down a beer when I hit 1,000, just so you know, Blessing. It's kind of been agreed, I think. Gordon Gilbert, he says Silva said he himself was tired. If that's the case, then he should be back next game week. Thomas McCarthy, I need to know what food you're eating. If you say you got food, I need to know what it is. Siraj doesn't like to look at his score until the final game. That's fair enough, to be fair. Sometimes you can look and think, I'm doing really well. And then you come back to it when the game week's over and you're like, oh, I did not do as well as I thought. Robert Moore just arriving. Best West Ham. West Ham have done really well. This performance just gone has made me think they can turn it around now, potentially. So, I'm now looking to bring in West Ham players. Have I frozen? No, I haven't. Sorry, I just stayed still for a while then. If you're wondering, what I see on my screen is actually a delayed version of what I'm actually doing. So, for a minute it looked like I've frozen. I have a bad habit as well. This has been pointed out to me by my wife. And when I'm thinking, my mouth is open. I'm just sitting there going. But yeah, You can't change yourself. Jamal has 2 free transfers. He just doesn't need to make changes to his team. Best replacement for Stephen Ward, just go to another Burnley defender. Although Stephen Ward could potentially be back for the next game, because last time I looked, he was a potential 50%. We'll see how it settles down. Potential return 23rd. I would just move over to another Burnley defender, because then you're still getting those Burnley clean sheets. Siraj says, for Jamal Rice having Benteke, that's why you're up top and that's why I'm stuck with Vardy. Robert Moore says you're right, it's about clean sheets and defence. Look, if Chelsea looked like they were going to keep getting clean sheets, lots of clean sheets, then that's when Alonso suddenly becomes a must-have, because you have the clean sheets and the potential for goals. The problem is Chelsea don't look as secure as some other sides. If Young was a defender in the game, I'd be definitely looking at him. I'm sure, Tiger, I've looked at that team already. If I haven't, Fabianski, Otamendi, Kenny, Salah, Richardson, Hazard, Sterling, Morata, Kane, bench, Elliot Loftus-Cheek and Mbemba, Kiko. I believe I remember saying Kiko and Mbemba are the ones I don't like. Elliot coming back in is good for us. Loftus-Cheek is decent, of course. He's done well recently. Otherwise, I like the team. I feel like I definitely did answer that question, though. But if I didn't, apologies. I am drinking more than I usually drink on a stream. Ricarlison out. I don't know. Part of my Brazilian blood, I'm kind of like, no, I can't do that to my brother. I think Watford don't have bad fixtures for the next 3. So I might keep him until... and then take him out for like a West Ham player. Happy Greenland 12. If that's a spoiler. It's a spoiler I don't care about, but I hope you haven't spoiled that for anyone. I agree, Florin. Kenny is worth it at the moment. I think he may lose his place once Coleman's back, but I think Kenny is worth it at the moment. So Benteke out, Austin versus Hudd, or Murray versus Swansea? I would go Murray, because I'm still not 100% sure about the Southampton attack. AM Saturday wants predictions for how many points I will have by the end of the season. I'm hoping it's higher than last season, but if it is, then I might be in the top 10k, and I haven't done as well as I did last season yet. 3,000 points, I wish, mate. Just to give you some kind of perspective on it. Last year I got 2,306 points and ended 10,083rd in the world. Not been outside the top 100k finish since 2014-15 season. As far as these seasons go, yeah, they're not impressive, are they? This is before I really got into it. Because I'll be honest, this World Cup between these 2 seasons, that is when I really got into fantasy football, because I won my league with my friends for the World Cup. So I think I'll definitely do stuff for the World Cup, because it's got a fond memory of that's how I got like proper into Fantasy Premier League or fantasy football in general. What I did want to do at one point in the channel was like use one of those sites and do like where me and my subscribers could all put £1 in every week and like play each other for game weeks, because basically there's yearly fantasy football and then there's game week fantasy football where you play purely for the game week and you pick your side just for that game week. And I did it with FPL updates for a while and wrote articles for them where I literally just picked for that game week, and I was winning some money, not massive amounts because I wasn't betting massive amounts, but if 30 people play, everyone puts £1 in, the top person got 20 quid, or 15 quid. The second person got 10, third person got 5. It was a lot of fun because it's a different way of playing. You only pick for that game week, so you're trying to predict results. Also, you'd have prices for players change as well, but you'd try and pick some differentials in there as well as the really big players. And I really enjoyed it, but I think at the time I wasn't big enough to get enough people involved. If that is something you guys would get involved in, it's a nice, it would be like 38 quid a year because you'd be paying £1 every time, but it would be fun to do. If you guys are interested, I could set it up again. I know how to do it because I've done it once and it just didn't take off. But FPL updates have a big following, so they had at least 40-50 people doing it, and I was winning quite often, so I could always look into doing that again if you guys were interested. But yeah, I've gone off topic. Yeah, if you want Quainer, or however you say his name, like Rahul Game says, he's probably going up tonight, so I would definitely look at doing that quickly if you do want him. Bottom of the chat again. God, I hate it when it drops at the bottom. We still got a lot of questions to go through. You guys are blowing up my chat. By the way, do you guys like me doing streams on Saturday and Sunday? I know I've done one during the game week when games are actually happening, but do you like me doing my reaction to the game week? Because I could do this more often. It's not like I go out that often on the weekend because I work on it. I've now scrolled too far up. Wow, AM Saturday with a very precise guess of 2,553. Tiger Fabianski out for Pope, Kenny out for Rojo. I like Kenny though, Siraj, personally. Osaka, everyone will have him next week. Have faith in Newcastle for a game week or two. Thomas McCarthy will find you if you don't like and share. That's the spirit, Thomas. You find them if they don't like and share. By the way, if you haven't, go like and share the video. Go on, do it now. I'm getting drunk on a Saturday night for you guys. Go like and share. I'm being more aggressive because I've had more alcohol. I personally think Pickford's too expensive. Tiger Rage as a goalkeeper option. That's my own personal opinion. Rad Robbie Roller, I 100% agree. Pope, I wouldn't say Pope is 100% fixture proof. Burnley could one day concede 4 or 5. But Burnley's defence is very organised. Even when they are missing players, some of their best defenders, they're missing them. They still went and got clean sheets. Because everyone was going, I missed out on Burnley clean sheet points because Ben Mee didn't play. Pope also gets saves. Now when Tom Heaton comes back, then we've got an issue there. But I think every season you have a team that you just look at budget options that get clean sheet points. It used to be West Brom. For ages it used to be West Brom. Right now, Southampton were at once the same kind of thing, if you could find the 4.5 million option. Right now, Burnley are sometimes my saviour in a game week. Dom J, I personally think Richarlison should be given a little more time considering what he's done for us so far. City's current points apparently would be enough to finish 8th last season. If Rooney looked good this game, I think it's already decent to be considering getting Rooney in. He's looked good for his price. Pope, Pickford or Adrian, I'd still go Pope. I'd actually then go Adrian before Pickford purely for price. It's love AM Saturday. Hearts for Mrs. J&O. I didn't tell her for the appreciation, did I? I need to remember to tell her. I need to get paid for my opinion. That's what I want. That's what I'm aiming for. But yeah, they get paid. The scout get paid for their opinion. I personally think they really missed the trick, because I think they could have. They don't have to. I think Kirchhoff said it already, and I respect him for coming out and saying it, because potentially he's put FPL off ever working with him, and potentially I could do the same here right now. Whilst I don't say they necessarily had to involve the community, because to be honest, the Twitter community around FPL is bigger in my eyes than the YouTube one, but at least with the YouTube one we are used to being on camera a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I guarantee you if I was put in that studio tomorrow I would not be the same guy right now. But imagine they just said to, say, me, Nymphria, Kurt, Andy, I'm thinking of the ones in the... No, I don't think Nymphria is in the UK. She might be. I don't know where. I know Kurt is UK based. I'm pretty sure FPL TV is UK based. Not sure if he shows his face though. But Andy is UK based. Imagine they just said, look, once a week we want you guys to get together. We'll pay for you to go to the same location. You all agree a location. We'll pay for the ticket once a week. Go sit in a pub. Just talk about fantasy football together. Talk about what's happened. People would watch that. People would watch that, and it's people that take this game very seriously, probably a bit more seriously than they should, that are part of a community that have some sort of record in the game, not just they turn up and... Sorry, that's some sort of... Yeah, for all we know, these hosts don't have any record in the game. I don't think they've ever gone, I'm host of the Daily Show, and my rank last year was whatever. You could involve Mark Southern as well, because he is a personality that does know what he's talking about. Just put us in a pub together. We could drink a few beers, record. We could record 2-3 hours worth of footage, and then they've got a guy there that can edit it down to the best bits. That would be a good show, and that kind of it would appeal to the base of fans they have. Because if you like fantasy football and take it seriously, you're a football fan at heart. Football fans generally like to watch football, talk about football. A big proportion like to drink, but it's not inclusive. That would be absolutely epic. And they wouldn't have to pay me a lot. As long as they paid for my travel and gave me some sort of like benefit if the show did really well, I would do it without pay unless the show did well. Like, say the show sucked and didn't get lots of views, I would do it without getting paid. But if it did really well, then I'd expect something back for it. But just get me to the same place as these other lot, and I think that could be really, really good. But yeah, never mind. That literally, I've never thought of that idea until just now, so I kind of went off on one. If Steve Shotton's guessing my overall rank, I would be in heaven if I finished 3,806. Ogbonna or Masaka rotation risk. I think Ogbonna's pretty nailed on. Masaka, I could see being rotation risk, but he looks pretty nailed on as well. Do I replace Fabianski? I don't see any desperate need to replace him, unless you think he's really got that bad run of fixtures. Can Burnley's defence get a clean sheet against Spurs next week? It is possible. I mean, generally Spurs do score, but it's possible that they get a clean sheet. Florian Sandu, De Gea will get huge if he goes to Madrid. I personally think De Gea is better off at Man United, and I'll explain why. De Gea isn't the type to become the next Neuer, in my opinion, going back to what I said earlier. At Madrid, he may have games where he doesn't get to be as active as he does at Manchester United. When Man United were clearly one of the best teams in the world, or sorry, easily the best team in England, you probably didn't get as many shots on their goal as you do right now. I personally think a goalkeeper is built off the amount of stuff he has to do in a game. I think at the current Man United, in its state it's been since Ferguson left, he's become a better goalkeeper because he's had to deal with so many shots. So if he goes Madrid, I'm not saying he's going to get any worse, but I think it may affect his progression. I have no idea why Joel Pereira is rising. It makes no sense. I think it's because they've put him in as De Gea's sub and going for the team strategy where you transfer in the best goalkeeper at the team that are getting the most clean sheets, or you think are going to get the most clean sheets, and then you just bring in the other guy. Now, you'd think Romero might come in, unless there's something people know that I don't, but they're just bringing him in because De Gea doesn't look like he's going anywhere, and then you're saving money by bringing in Pereira, because I'm presuming he dropped significantly at one point. Jan Ivor Jacobson, nice to see you in the chat. I'm glad we went long enough for you to join. And we're actually at 39 people watching still, which is quite good. So thank you so much for joining. 40 points so far. That is fantastic, mate. He wants to get to 60. Oh, have you played your bench boost? And a nice red wine. I've got mulled wine right now, so cheers, my friend. How far am I behind the chat? Do I need to go get another drink? That's fair enough, Siraj. I just personally don't think... If I was building my own side, I would still go with Neuer right now. But that might be just the type of football that I'm attracted to. Blessing Arola got 45 points in total. Well, not in total because the game week's not over yet, but well done. Buffon is a legend, DC. I will concede to that. See, Desiree Charija, to me, Neuer is a complete goalkeeper because he can do the stuff with his feet and play with the ball and so on and so forth. I think David De Gea is, I will say it now, is the best shot stopper in the world, in my eyes. I actually think the Premier League is blessed with good shot stoppers as well. I think Lloris can be very underrated as a shot stopper. However, as far as a complete goalkeeper, I don't think David De Gea is a complete goalkeeper. There's nothing wrong with that. David De Gea does an amazing job as your classic goalkeeper. I don't think he's complete, because I feel like complete is when you can do the other stuff as well. I suppose it depends what you want in your side. I'm not going to sit here and say, if I was a manager of a side and I could get David De Gea in goal, I wouldn't get him. The only way I wouldn't get him is if I had Neuer. That's the only goalkeeper right now that I'd take over him. But that is because I like possession football, as far as what I'd try and achieve if I was a manager. Okay, Tiger Rage says Silva's girlfriend was having a baby. If that is true, congratulations. Hopefully he plays for AFC Wimbledon. The son or daughter. I'll take it. I'll take a daughter playing for AFC Wimbledon. That's David Silva's daughter. Ogbonna or Masaka? I personally would go Ogbonna. I just feel like he's more secure. That's not based off of much though. TP is in the chat. Why are you so late, TP? God damn it. Oh, David De Gea is better than Edison right now. Like, if I had to choose between the two right now, I would take David De Gea. I just feel like Edison could become a really amazing goalkeeper. Kante better than Pogba? I think you're just saying that to make sure people understand that you're not 100% biased. I personally think, if you look at all the good players in the world that can do the attacking side, and all the good players in the world that can do the defensive side, I think Kante is maybe matched by Casemiro, although not as quick. Casemiro isn't as quick. I'm trying to think of anyone else I like as much as Kante. Tolisso, I've heard, is good, but I feel like from what I've heard, he's more of a all-rounder, like going back and forward. I personally don't see many better options than Kante as far as a midfielder is concerned, defensively, or just winning possession. I wouldn't even say Kante's defensive. He just wins possession and he plays like two midfielders. I think Kante, if I was building a side and I had an unlimited budget and I could get anyone I want, Kante would be one of those names on my team sheet. If I was building a squad, it would be Kante and Casemiro. I think Kante is better than Casemiro. It hurts me to say that as I'm part Brazilian, but I think Kante was a big reason why Leicester won the league, and I think he was a big reason why Chelsea won the league. Jamal Rice said Alonso never leaving his team. You're the man. I can't argue with you anymore. I've already stated that. I was the guy that brought in Alonso, got no points of him, took him out, and then watched him get points. TP got 24 points, but with De Gea, Salah, captain, and Lukaku still to play, your game week could turn around, my friend. Dom Stimfig is skiing until Christmas, so he won't be part of the flock till the new year. Well, I hope he has fun skiing. Hopefully he gets some time to watch the videos. But you know what? Have a good time. It's Christmas. Like, if you're free, great. Come join the fun. If you're not, that's fine. I know you'll be back when things return to normal. Siraj, another reason you're at top, I kicked him for Otamendi. Otamendi's not been bad, but if you had Otamendi and Alonso... Ogbonna and Masaka rotation. I think you've been asking that a lot. Nemanja Djorkic. I will get to your questions. I'm behind the chat. Ogbonna is still the one I think is the best option. Did you only put the team in the chat once? I feel like I saw it more than once, but apologies if, to be honest, Tiger Rage, I've not been the best YouTuber towards you in this stream, seeing as I accidentally banned you, but fair enough if you only put it in once. Am I still that far behind the chat? Man, this chat is kicking off, isn't it? Like, not kicking off. Popping. I'm probably way too old to say popping. Anyway. I transferred Tongan out for Christensen and Ramsey out for Shaqiri. Not bad. I don't think Shaqiri did anything, though, did he, recently? DC, that is fine. You can disagree with me. I still believe in Burnley's defence, especially at home. And last year, they also did very well at home against some big teams. And down to the bottom of the chat again. Wow, we're still way behind. Now, I've had 4 drinks, so there may need to be a toilet break for me. Just saying. Okay, TP's team. We've got De Gea, me, Otamendi, Christensen, Ricarlison, Gross, Shaqiri, Salah, Austin, Morata, Lukaku, Pope, Richie, Cedric, Daniels. I have 1.2 million in the bank. Who to upgrade? I'm truly turning towards moving away from free strikers. So I would say you don't need Austin. You could probably go someone cheaper. I would even suggest you could go 4-5-1, but I don't have an issue with Morata or Lukaku's fixtures, so they could do really well in returns. Your defence is good. I like your defence overall. Cedric and Daniels could potentially be changed to other people, but I wouldn't say it's urgent. I feel like Grosh and Shaqiri aren't necessarily the best picks. Also, I think Ricarlison is getting to a point where you may need to look at other players. So, I feel like the players that are doing really well at the moment have a stacked midfield. So, I feel like you need to start working towards getting a stacked midfield. So, that's what I would try working towards. Best defender under 5 million with good fixtures from TP. Was that from TP? No, it's from Ajoy Ramanan. Thank you for the question. I would say right now, Huddersfield could get clean sheets. It's possible. Dunk, I believe, and Duffy. Is one of them a Brighton player though? Let's actually go to the Huddersfield squad. I can feel the alcohol taking control, not taking control. Okay, I've just named 2 Brighton defenders, haven't I? So, you know what? Lascelles could get some decent points. He's on 68 in the moment. You've of course got Zanka, Schindler, Lowe. They seem nailed on and getting points, so potentially one of them could upturn their point return. Definitely the alcohol's starting to take effect. I wouldn't go near Newcastle, even though their fixture list looks okay. West Ham have definitely improved. So Bonner, Musaka are the budget options in that side. I would look at Everton as well, purely because you've got the likes of Kenny. While Everton do have Chelsea next, and then they do have Man United and Tottenham. So the fixture list gets bad for Everton actually, which kind of makes me a bit annoyed that I brought in Kenny. So I wouldn't actually go Everton now. I don't know why I haven't seen that before. Brighton, apart from Chelsea in Gameweek 20, decent fixtures though. So maybe someone from Brighton, Duncan Duffy, which I already said. Why did I not know Kenny? I brought Kenny way too late. And that wasn't a drunk decision. That was a decision made this morning because he is the cheap defender in my side though, which is fine because he probably won't play often because I like my other defenders, but Norton's the other one. So I don't think Kenny was the best choice. Shame. That's a big shame. Anyway, that is my answer to that question. I've just noticed the flaw in my transfer that I made this morning. And that's what happens when you focus so much on making videos and streams and don't properly sit down to change your own side. TP's looked at my draft. I apologise. I really thought draft would take off this year. I don't think I did it the best way possible. I think the only way I'd be interested in it is if I did it with a select few amount of people. So I didn't look at my team and think, well, that sucks. So, you know, I would potentially just build a completely different side if I really thought about it. It was fun while it lasted, but I just don't think it suits as many people as I had. It probably works well with a core group of people, a small group of people. What I could do is I could do a competition. Maybe like the people I feel have contributed most to the stream get into my draft league next year, and then we have a small part of the live stream where I talk about the draft, but we'll see. Potentially it might be something I do with Patreons, it might be something I do with sponsors. Just it's something extra I could give them, because at the moment I don't really give them anything extra. I don't know what I'll do with the draft next year. Hopefully, because the plan was to do the draft with the likes of Nimfria, Kurt Joy, Zane Muller, Bretsby, aka FPL TV, that kind of stuff, but it never really happened. Anyway, I'd say Ogbonna is a good choice at the moment. Quainer might be good. If you're not playing 3-4-3, I think he's definitely a great option because he's really cheap and he plays. Okay, Thomas McCarthy said he'd bet £1 a game week, and yes to live streams during the game week. Robert Moore says stream when I have time to drink beer. I can always drink beer, don't worry about that. Okay, TV Football Analysis is telling me my draft team. This might be interesting. I went Fabianski. That's not a bad shout, to be fair. Mustafi, if he didn't keep getting injured. Matip. Why did I think, although Liverpool's defence at home isn't too bad. Fuchs. Pedro has had some of these. Arnautovic could do better. Klaasen's awful. Yaya Toure, awful. Herrera, not that great. Kane. How did I get Kane? Llorente, who's now gone to Spurs, so he's not even playing. Bravo, Shane Long, Adam Smith. Simps. That's really not a great team. Jan Ivor Jacobson, great with streams during Saturday and Sunday. I also feel like some people may have more time. They may be busy, of course. Live streams during the game week, I doubt it's going to happen. And now I'm drunk, you'll probably say something regret. I'd never regret anything. Like, while I might say some stupid stuff, I don't think I ever really regret anything. Nothing really bad's happened. Jano, if I could, if it ever got to the point where this was my job, I would stream. I would try to do something similar to True Geordie, because I do like what he's done, but it probably wouldn't be. It might be with big YouTubers. I would need someone to moderate the chat and just like give us the good questions from it, because I never want to just ignore the live chat, because then I'm like, well, what's the point in being live on YouTube or live on stream? A big part of being live is looking at the chat. Yes, you might miss stuff when you get to a big size, but there should be a chance that people's comments in the chat get put on the stream. Steve Shotton says he should join the FPL Today League. He'd be 7th, but he's in 15 leagues already. Should have joined us first. Next year you'll know though, next year. Florence Sandu, Zaha. Last year, I was a big fan of Zaha. If you ever listen to the FPL or Fantasy Football Surgery podcast, I'm decent friends with the guys that run that. I have gone on their podcast a few times. I would recommend, if you go on Twitter, follow them and then go check out their podcast. It goes on SoundCloud and the Apple I don't know, podcast thingy. Good guys, good podcast. I like going on there because I'm a bit different than some of the guys. I try to have a bit of banter. I know that they do a lot of the stats, so I don't try to be too stat heavy. I try and just be, still give my opinion of course, but I feel like I try and compliment them because I want that show to be as good as possible when I'm on. Anyway, I've not been on for a while purely because our schedules haven't matched and such, but I wrote a book on Zaha last year. I like Zaha as a fantasy football option. Very good option. It's just about getting him in at the right time, to be fair. He does have quiet periods. He does get injured sometimes, but why Pope didn't get penalty save points, so I can remember penalty missed, he was penalty saved. I think he's got to save it. I'm pretty sure a penalty has to be saved. Can't just miss it and he gets it. Robert Moore really wants everyone to ban and Burnley. I am not going to, because they're cheap and then they'll still be cheap afterwards. My head is the same. I've noticed that, like, on here, what I'm watching, my face is really red. Who knows? It's probably the alcohol, mate. Probably the alcohol. Southampton going to get relegated. Pellegrino stayed because he's more useless than Puel. Pellegrino really hasn't done the job, has he? I really feel like they dropped the ball by getting rid of Puel so early. TP, I have watched Ball Street before. I would love to be part of that, but, you know, it's hard to get involved in those stuff. I would love to do an FPL equivalent. Again, if all FPL have to do is they don't even have to pay us a significant amount. If they just paid a bunch of us creators, because we'd get benefit from just being on their Facebook, on their website, so on and so forth. If they just paid to get me to the location, I'm sure I would do it. I'm sure Kurt would do it. I'd probably go to my boss and just say, look, could I get every evening off for this day? Like, I would work around it to get on that, because I really think it could be something that, one, is good quality, two, would really help me, and two, would kind of show them, like, getting the community involved. It wouldn't even always have to be me. They could change the people on the show. They could just bring in Twitter people as well. Just film us casually talking about it as well, because I think for someone like me or other YouTubers, it might not be as daunting to present a show. Not that I'm saying I'm a great presenter, but it won't be as daunting. But for someone that does stuff on Twitter or writes articles, it might be quite daunting to suddenly go somewhere and have to be like, bang, here I am in front of a camera. Not that I've got the best camera, of course, it's a webcam. C920, by the way, plug it. It's a really good web camera, although it makes my face look red, apparently. Anyway. Florence Sander, you guys should do the show, FPL or no FPL. The issue there is, if we did it without the FPL, we'd have to pay for it ourselves. And I know Kurt lives far away from me, is what I'll say. It would cost us quite a bit of money to do it every week. If I knew someone in London-ish area that did FPL videos, I might actually check. Some of the new guys don't live in London. Could potentially try and do something. But the thing is, we'd probably get very little benefit from doing it. Unless it got really hyped on Twitter or something. Because unless we maybe got FPL tips involved. But again, he's not an on-camera guy. But you know what? Because one of my ideas for 30 Days of FPL was to get people to basically do like an interview with me. Or basically not even an interview, maybe just a discussion about FPL. And I'd travel to wherever they were, go to a pub with them and just talk football with them, talk FPL with them. But people didn't really buy it. So if people don't buy it, then I'd have no one to do the show with, which meant the concept didn't work. But I have ideas. I'd love to make some really interesting new stuff for you guys around FPL, but it's hard to do when the community is so small and there's not as much support. Oh, is Andy in Ireland? That would affect things, wouldn't it? I mean, I wouldn't mind if Fantasy Premier League fly me out to Ireland once a week. Siraj would do it for a season ticket and picture with United players. No, TP, I wouldn't do it. If you're off, his question was, if you were off to do an FPL channel with all the big FPL YouTubers, including Fantasy Premier League tips, would you do it? I couldn't, because I've clearly come out against him. I've made a video being out against him. I could not do it. I would feel like I was selling out massively, and I feel like I'd lose respect. And I'd also, I wouldn't work well with him. I know I wouldn't, because I'm not one that's going to sit there and just bite my tongue and pretend we're suddenly best friends when I really don't like him. He might actually be a really nice guy in real life, but he's just manipulated the system and taken advantage and really, really just hurt a lot of people. So no, I couldn't do it. Nathan Roberts, if you're wondering, the reason Fantasy TP Football Analysis asked that question is because he knows I don't like him, and I've made that clear. But I suppose it's like one of those catch-22 situations. It would probably help me out massively in the long term, but I couldn't do it. Jan Ivor Jacobson traded KDB for silver this week. He needs more red wine. I need some more. Oh no, I've still got alcohol in there. Thomas McCarthy needs more beer. AM Saturday transferred out Maguire for Schindler. Hussein Sharkey, how are you doing? Nathan Roberts, I really don't think De Gea is a complete goalkeeper as far as his ability on the ball as a normal player. I feel like I've definitely split opinion here on that topic though. Don't get me wrong, Siraj, Neuer has had a better defence in front of him. I feel like that has helped De Gea's growth a lot. Because if De Gea had gone Madrid early in his career, I don't think he'd be the goalkeeper he is right now. Hussein Shoki, welcome. Subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. And I like how everyone's saying hello to him as well. Is form more important than fixtures? Yes, in my eyes it is. Fixtures are always good. What you want to do is you want to look at the fixtures and see if there's form players or players that have any sort of decent form coming up against good fixtures. Am I getting anywhere near the end of this? Because I feel like I'm still miles behind. And I have a bad habit of getting congested when doing these streams for a long time. I like this guy Kovacic, great talent. I like him as well, but he's not in the Premier League, is he? TV Football Analysis, you have been here for... I'll be honest, I've done so many, but I remember seeing your name pretty much every single time. Craig Manuel is in the chat. Gordon Gilbert is singing. I think he's had as many as I have. Best cheap option for a third striker. I mean, the thing is, there's no one that's really standing out. So, is it Quainer? Comes in at 4.5 million. 4.5 million for a striker is a ridiculous price. So I would just go with that and then not play three strikers. No worries, Craig Manuel. As long as you're catching the video after, then I'm a happy man. Jan Ivor Jacobson not taking the point hit. I'm glad I'm having an effect on you, my man. I think everyone suggested what I just said as well. Craig Manuel with the Hazard captain. A bunch of us did that. We're all relatively happy. I mean, another goal would have been nice. Aaron Moy, I suggested last stream. With the fixtures that Huddersfield have, Southampton, Stoke, Burnley, Leicester, West Ham, he could definitely get some points. Florian Sander is off. Oh, I'm really getting congested now. Let's try that question again. Have a good Sunday, Florian Sandu. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Mr. T's 12. Can you judge goal, Pope, defence, Christensen, Valencia, Ward, Cabaselli, midfield, Coutinho, Salah, Hazard, Silva, forward, Morata, Okazaki, subs. Can't really see the subs properly. And then I've dropped to the bottom. I would say your defence is good. Not too fond of Watford defenders though, personally. I like your goalkeeper. Midfield is pretty stacked. Morata is a decent striker. Okazaki is very good when he plays. If he could just be nailed on, he'd be awesome. So I do quite like your team. Cabaselli would be the one I would be looking at changing. Hussein Schalke has De Gea, me, Christensen, Masako, Chilwell. Chilwell could probably be changed. Salah, KDB, Hazard, Young, Loftus. I'm not a fan of Young, but a lot of people have gone with him because he plays in defence. I don't think he'll continue to keep getting those extra points. Loftus I do like. Aguero's 2 rotation risk. Kane I'm still back in, but I don't blame anyone that's got rid of him. And Calvert-Lewin I don't think will continue to get points, but if you're going for a cheap player, then that is fine. Okay, TP Football Analysis made a team that copied FPL Tips team, and so he's got a team that's doing decent. I think Everton players, as far as defenders, yes. Then otherwise, other than defenders, I'd say Rooney's the only one to get. Crystal Palace, until this game week, no one was looking at them. But Zaha is my favourite from that team. Best keeper under 4.8 million. I automatically want to say Fabianski and Pope. But I'm not sure if they're still at the right price. Pope is still under it, so I'd say Pope, clearly. Pope is your best option. Loselli could get some points, though, with some decent fixtures coming up. Okay, the subs for Mr. T's 12. Speroni, Calvert-Lewin, Otamendi, Loftus-Cheek. Otamendi is a very good defender. I personally like him. Calvert-Lewin I'm not a fan of. Speroni's a decent shout. Loftus-Cheek is a decent shout. Paul Giddy's going to ditch Hazard for KDB. Fair enough. I can't argue with that. I think both will be very similar. I just think Hazard has a higher ceiling for massive point returns. And I think you can get similar points from Sterling or Silva for KDB. Yeah, TP, I agree. The draft itself, the actual process is fun. But yeah, I just can't keep up with it. Nice person, nice name. Any thoughts on Abraham? I think he's not necessary anymore. I think it's been a long while that he's not been necessary. I'd say there's better options. I'd literally say just get the cheapest starting striker as your third striker, and then just don't even play 3 strikers. There's Paul Giddy. There's no striker right now, apart from maybe Rooney, that seems worth it. Craig Manuel, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Can we get some cakes in the chat? Can we get some party hats? Can we get some dancing? Can we get some alcohol? Can we get all the kind of things you see at a birthday for Craig Manuel? Happy birthday, my man. Hope you've had a good one so far. This one's for you. It's apparently after 12 in South Africa. We should do some shots, mate. I don't think I've got any shots in my house. Otherwise, I'd do some birthday shots with you. TP, potentially, it looks like 2 or 1 striker is all you need. You don't need that many good strikers. So, yeah, I'd say the points are in midfield. Okay, KDB made a 21 sign, which was for David Silva. That's nice to see. Like a bit of camaraderie. Or 2-1 United. Desiree Charidra is out. Thank you so much for joining the stream, mate. Lukaku Morata for Aguero. Got Hazard. Morata, I'd say, just so you've got more money to spend in midfield, Hussein, sorry. I'd say Silva and Sterling are a good bet. Ahmed Hussein, to be honest, that midfield looks like it will get you points by itself. Siraj, I agree. Sterling will get benched at times, but he will still score enough points to make up for it. They don't have an official YouTube channel, FPL. As far as FPL tips goes, I'm pretty sure he's happy just doing his own thing. I've reached out to him before. I think he's happy doing his own thing. Sterling instead of Silva? I personally think so, but there's nothing wrong with going Silva. Thomas McCarthy says it's bedtime. I'm rubbing my eyes, so it might be my bedtime soon. Potentially, I will check that out, Siraj, when I can. That interview, David De Gea and Thierry Henry. I'm a fan of Thierry Henry, so I can't see any reason why I wouldn't give it a go. TP, I think you're correct. Once the title race is over, they may slow down. To be honest, until something official comes out, don't listen too much to rumours about Silva, but I hope everything is okay. Could I wear a Santa hat for the next stream? Potentially I could. Potentially. Not 100% sure. Hats don't generally fit my head. I've got a big head. Jeff Holt is off. Thank you to the flock. Good chat and advice. Good luck all tomorrow. Good night, my friend. Hope you have a good one. Good night, Maria, as well. Mr. T as well. Otamendi on the bench. Otamendi is a great player. Thomas Carvey thinks he's had too much beer. That's what a JNO stream can do to you. Craig Mann is having a shot right now. I'll tell you what, I will have a shot as soon as I leave this stream. I may even put a picture of the shot on Twitter, just so I can prove I did it. Paul Giddy, Hammers did well today. I'm now starting to believe their defence may get points. And also, as long as Manuel Lanzini doesn't get affected by that dive, might go Manuel Lanzini at some point. Yeah, as far as David Moyes goes, I may have to backtrack on my video where I said I don't think he's a good choice. But you know what? I can be wrong. I can be wrong. I agree, TP. I don't think they advertise it as much as they could. Owen Godfrey, I'm on 35 points so far. 10 above the average. Thank you for asking. Firmino or Vardy or Rashford? I would go Firmino. Personally, I think Rashford, rotation risk, Vardy, and the lesser side I'm not too fond of right now. Siraj's questions have just started. Mate, Siraj, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, fella. Paul Giddy, I definitely think it's worth looking at West Ham defender. My shouts are Masaka, Ogbonna and Cresswell if you think he can start getting some assists. Ricarlison or Mahrez? Ricarlison. I really don't think Mahrez can keep going. Craig Manuel with the shot of whiskey. That's a heavy shot. Apparently Lanzini went down like he'd been shot. I look forward to watching that. To be honest, nowadays players do go down way too easy. It's a shame. I remember when players used to try and stay on their feet. There are some players that still do it though, to be fair. Anyway, guys, 2 hours, 17 minutes in. I know Siraj wants more to be asked. I think he doesn't have anything to do tomorrow. So he's actually like, yeah, I'm going to keep this stream going. Apparently Siraj is used to sleeping 4 or 5 hours a day. I'm old. I used to do that. I don't do it anymore. So yeah. I would say Hussein Firmino is the best bet. But anyway, I am calling the stream here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been a quite a good and popular stream, especially as it came out a bit out of left field. So thank you guys so much. If you do want to support the stream in any way, there's a sponsor button. You can join Blessing and Rolo as a sponsor of the stream. There's also various other links where you can follow or support the channel as well as the stream. In the links in the description, there's merchandise, there's Patreon, blah 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 blah. All the stuff I usually say that a lot of you have already heard. I've been J&O. This has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game. And man, my face is red.